So, Gerard and Kerryn, I just want to present to you the first concept of what I think this front garden should be or could be like. The existing garden obviously needs to change. There's a couple of plants in there, the cycads, the bird of paradise, the clivias, the agaves. I want to keep all of those. This fence line, we've got to make sure that the boundary fences are compliant. I want to get rid of the ivy. Again, keep some of these plants, the yuccas can go. The tea trees that are in the lawn, particularly this one that's fallen over, obviously has to come out of the equation. All the stonework, the steps and the current decking I want to change. The limestone of the house, obviously that's going to stay. I do want to talk to you about the colouring, the creaminess of this house. I really am aiming for a white finish, a really clean line look. The boundary is just to the right of this right-hand pillar, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which means that looking at that car there, that car is only just inside the boundary, which it sort of means you're going to lose about half of that lawn space down the side there, which is a real shame. And as I was saying, I want to sort of introduce a little bit of white into this and make this whole front area really just that becomes your central entertaining space, barbecue, dining, lounging, swimming, and all of that, and the new carport that goes over the top of it. So I just made a quick model of the existing site conditions. So the existing deck, as you can see, is pretty small. With your furniture on at the moment, it really is just only big enough for the furniture. A couple of steps down, it's about 1.2 meters from decking height down to that lower lawn area. The tea tree that's fallen over, leaning over towards the driveway, that ideally wants to come out. There's another one in the top right hand corner there which wants to come out. The boundary fences are non-compliant, particularly the first one. So when we're building a swimming pool and we're using the fences, the boundary fences, as part of our pool fence, we've got to meet pool fence regulations, and they have to be 1.8 meters in height. They've got to be non-climbable on the inside, so on and so on. Now, I want to talk to you about your boundary. What I've done is I've drawn in a big piece of glass representing the boundary line. Now, as you can see, it's just off. It's 200 millimeters off this current pillar, the left-hand pillar, as you come in the driveway. The gravel, as you can see, this is all your current gravel. And if you were to line 3 cars up like I've done here, the long-term ramifications would be that potentially is going to be lost and cut off if the neighbours ever want to put a fence up through there, which is a bit of a worry, which is a bit of a shame. The cars are going to have to line up end to end in the long-term plan. And of course, this front area, I really want to just use the entire space for entertaining and really, that becomes your central hub. So we have a carport, we have a much larger decking space, a pool, a spa, 2x2 meter spa, and space around the pool to be able to hang out inside that pool zone. The pool itself at the moment is 7 meters by 3 meters. I've got about 1.5 meters of paving at the end of the pool. I've got 3 meters of space of paving between the pool and the driveway, and where I want to be able to get some day beds and some umbrellas in there. You can see some of those plants. I've really just dotted them in just to give you an indication of what we could be achieving here. Reusing some of the plants that you've already got. Steps and shallow ends and swim out ledges and all of those things can be discussed. The spa here, it spills over on 2 sides. And then we've got the pool fence, which divides the decking area and the poolside area. This is about 5 meters long from the veranda posts. You've got another sort of a meter and about 1.2 meters between those posts and the house. But I want to turn all of this into a really large, entertaining space. So you can see there I've got enough space for lounging, enough space for dining. I've got a covered area over a built-in outdoor kitchen, a nice big screen up along that boundary. And I'll talk to you about some shade options, because I do like the idea of being able to provide shade which covers the whole area. I don't want to necessarily put a big roof structure over it, which I could, but I did want to talk to you about the options of maybe putting a retractable shade structure through there. So this is what it's like coming in from the driveway, automatic gates, which you can either leave open or have a code up there. All the fences are a white painted shiplap board, and the screen behind the barbecue in the outdoor kitchen, I also want to do that in a white painted shiplap board. So you can see over the top of the outdoor kitchen there, I've got this covering, this roof covering. It just means the person who's on barbecue duty, if it is raining, can come out and actually barbecue if it's raining. And you can see also there, I've got this retractable awning, which comes out and covers the lounge area. But I do want to talk to you about being able to put in a really big retractable awning system, a retractable roof which covers the entire area. The fence behind the pool, also in the painted white boards, needs to be a minimum of 1.8 metres in height, as do all the perimeter fences. If we were to push the pool over towards the boundary, that 1.8 metres then needs to sit on top of the pool height, which it ends up making it about 2.8 metres in height, which is quite a high fence. So I want to be able to give you some options and talk you through some options about what we can do to that perimeter fence. So I do have a gap there. I didn't want to fill it in with trees because you've already got trees in the background, albeit not very nice trees. One of the trees does drop a lot of litter, and having that space between the pool and the boundary, I think is going to be advantageous for you. So next I want to talk to you about the carport and the garage. So I've gone for a really, really long structure so the cars go in end to end. Automatic gates, again in the timbers. This front post has a beam on it. And what I want to do is maintain the ability for you to be able to park onto this neighbouring property. If not, in the eventual case where we might need to go and put posts in, or there's a fence going there, you can see where I've got those two posts. They're just floating. They're not doing anything at the moment, because what I'd really love to do is achieve getting a really, really big long beam so that entire side of that carport is actually frameless. So these are steel posts supporting some big giant steel members from corner to corner. Now, I've made this straight, and I'll explain this another day. If we make the roof line tapered, as the boundary is kind of an awkward shape, that means we've got to put a box gutter in, and it brings up all sorts of complications and implications in construction. I've left all of this end open. We could bring that fence to the corner posts, but I brought the fence out just a little bit to be able to disguise the cars. I could bring it out further, but we'll have that conversation a bit later. And I do want to keep it detached from the house. I don't want to sort of start mucking up the house, the construction of the house. So let me know what you think of this design. The size of the pool, 7x3. We can make this bigger. We can make it 8x4 if you want. It's going to have a couple of implications as to the spaces around it. 2x2 meter spa. Anyway, so let me know what you think, and we'll go from there.